Hello, my name is Connor Hunt. I'm a junior at Loy Arcs High School, currently taking a computer science and software engineering class, CTU course at Gull Lake High School. In this vlog, I'll be demonstrating how to install Linux virtual machine using Oracle VirtualBox, which we have right here. Now, before we do that, we have to start with some preparations. And see our system information, go to Windows, type in system information, popped up right there. Right here you can see all sorts of things such as CPU, your RAM, and in here you can see our drive space. See, we got about terabyte of drive space here. Now, we also need an open file, so I'm going to go to see this here, which we can now we can see right here and here we have virtual machines, and I have mine stored in a Linux Ubuntu. Right here is where we're going to be putting it in Flog Practice OS. But first, we need to get an ISO file. So he will need to go to a website for, in this instance, it will be Linux Ubuntu right here, can be found here, also linked on my website. Then, now that we have all the preparations done, we are going to go to VirtualBox, hit New, name it whatever you want. We're just going to name it Linux VM Practice. Alright, now we have to put it where we need to, so we are going to put it where you want to. For me, that will be here in this. Then an ISO image, which we got earlier from the Linux site, so we use right here, Ubuntu 22.04.5. Don't need to do that. Then we need to set up a username and password. Just set this to whatever you want, and I'll just set mine to something simple like name, and then just random password, or like whatever you need it to be. 1, 2, 3, 4 would work. Anything works. This is all fine. It's the domain name and the host name of the computer. Then we go to the next page. Now this is where we needed that system information. So I recommend, if you're just running one at a time, you will only need to use up half of your host computer's space. So for instance, this one has a terabyte, so about half of that would be this much, and since this thing has 6 processing units, which can be found in here, then we can go, then we'll set this to 3. Now, 25 gigs is enough space. If you want to allocate more to the virtual machine, you can. Don't do any of these, or do it if you want to or need to. Do whatever you prefer. Just a quick summary going over everything and all your settings you selected. Now it will start booting up automatically, and we can just move that over to the side. It will start installing, and while that is installing, we will go to some notes to quickly cover what this virtual machine is. This is a virtual machine is basically just a computer running off of another computer. It's just imitating a different computer. Yep, there. Alright, now it's starting to install. There's a couple types of it: full virtualization, para-virtualization, OS level virtualization. There are 2 types of hypervisors though, which are basically the ways it runs. we are doing type 2, which is just running off of a host, while this one is running off of physical, while type 1 is running off physical hardware. Oh, you will have to quickly sign in order to start it back up. There we go. And there are several use cases for it: server virtualization, software development, legacy systems, cloud computing, sandboxing. You know, just different things. It can be used for more, but those are just some primary examples. And then, go a little deeper into them. These are hypervisor type 2, again the type we're using. Run on host operating systems, are easier to set up but less efficient than bare metal hypervisors or type 1 hypervisors. They allow isolation, scalability, resource allocation, snapshotting. Can be used for many different things, for many different use cases. Right here, this is all running off of a host computer, which for me is currently a Windows 11 computer. Right here, you can see the specs again. It's also running off of our computer hardware, CPU, which is just used to store our data and retrieve instructions, central processing unit. Then we also have RAM, random access memory, which is also helping with the space. And then finally, hard drive, in which everything is basically stored on, in which uses spinning magnetic disk to store data. Now this should be almost done. Almost. Which means that... Now there is one more thing here. If we go to options here, we can see snapshots. Snapshots are a way to basically save state. This. You can take a snapshot, and if something goes wrong or you want to go back, you can revert back to that snapshot, and it'll be like whatever you did never happened. Then there are also logs. You can see what is happening if you understand this sort of stuff. Activity, which shows how the CPU is doing, the network rate, the disk I/O, just a bunch of basic things. I will continue this, however, once the VM is finished installing. Alright, now that it is nearly done, there's one more thing to cover, and that is guest machines, which is basically what this is. This is all basically running on a guest computer, or this is the host, and the main computer, the Windows here, is the host, and Linux is the guest. It doesn't have as many abilities, permissions to do anything, or really can do much at all aside from do stuff on Linux. Now, some of the benefits for VMs are also that this can be used to run older pieces of hardware that may not run on current machines, and also can be used to possibly test dangerous hardware, or hardware you wouldn't want to risk testing on your host computer, which has all your important files, since these are basically two separate entities, although one is inside the other, or one is simply just the inside of the computer. It's basically just a computer inside a computer. And then, finishing up right now. Going through the last steps of installing. Right now we just log in using whatever you set it up as. And it'll take a while, you know. Skip through all this. Yeah, you can use it as Firefox. It can be used for many different things. Linux is particularly good for programming and app development. Just demonstrate something. I will just open just a calculator. I can do everything that any computer can. It can use a calculator, it can mess with the settings, you can mess with many things. You can set the background to this. See? Now when you're done working with your virtual machine, make sure to always close it using the power off button, or else you may potentially corrupt your files or cause serious harm. Once that's done, boom, powered off, all done, no issues, and nothing has really changed about your main computer. That will be all for this vlog, and I thank you for listening, and hope to have you listen to another one.